So I started this video 2 seconds ago and realized the button didn't go when I pushed it to switch it around. So we're going to restart this again. Obviously it's morning. I don't know, probably 8 o'clock. 8:30, something like that. Anyway, I checked the weather and realized that this is the coolest it's going to be until 10 o'clock tonight. So I knew that I had to, and there's actually a slight breeze and overcast. So I knew I had to get out here and walk now because it's just going to get hotter. It's weird when you get to be an adult and realize, think shit through. And for most of my life, I'm kind of a planner. I am a planner. I don't have to plan everything. There are very much times where I'm like, all right, let's go. And we just go. A lot less nowadays, only because I have so much freaking shit to do that I really feel guilty being like, okay, today, it's Saturday. It's Saturday. Saying, all right, we're just going to go fishing. Because then it really sends my brain kind of into a little bit of a tailspin of, that's going to take an hour to get everything ready. And then there's really not many places around here to fish. Where I'm from, breeze is heavenly. Because it's like 80 degrees I think right now, but usually right through this little corridor through here, and then it goes straight through here. There's a really nice cross breeze through here a lot. And then so where I'm from, there's a farm pond everywhere. And most farmers, as long as you ask, don't care. And living somewhere for, when did we leave there, 30 years, you kind of get to know everybody. In my high school, I could probably tell you where everybody lived. We all knew each other. We all knew where they lived, and, everybody's parents came to watch them at school and the ball teams, and, one parent or another was always there helping out or, taking us for car rides, I don't know, Heather's mom would, maybe drop us all there, and then my mom would come pick us up or something like that. That's just what we did. And that way we didn't have to run, 20 miles each direction twice a day or 2 times. However that worked. Anyway, we lived in a small town, and one small town, all 3 of the towns had elementary schools. They've changed one of the elementary schools now into the homeschool program. But then one town had the junior high, and then the other town, my town, had the high school. And so we would all get bused 7 miles to the junior high for those 3 years, except, fun fact, they redid the highway between the 2 towns when I was in junior high. And so we actually had to go out in the country 2 miles to drive a country road 7 miles over to go back. And we were always late to school that year. But we had to bypass that. Anyway, funny things that you forget that you went through. I also was in the class in 5th grade or 6th grade. Let me think. Was it I think it was Mrs. Huber's class. Maybe, but anyway, we had, it was the year that, the flood of 93? And our school roof collapsed. And we had to, all of the classes, like all of the churches in town, hosted a different class. So our class was at one church, so there's two 6th grade classes, and we were at one of the Methodist churches in town. I think that's what it was. Anyway, and then I remember how cool it was. I thought that when Dr. Frakes came and she was our music teacher. When she came to do music, we actually got to go upstairs and sing like in the church, up where the choir would normally sing. It was her church too. I think that's where she went to church. Anyway, she has since passed, probably 8 to 10 years ago. But I just thought that was kind of cool when I was growing up that we did that. Recess was a little less fun because there was zero equipment. But then they did take us about once a week. I think they bussed us up to the park, which was 4 blocks away. And I'm not sure if we ever walked up there. We may have. Let me think. We might actually up a block, over a block, and then down the hill was actually where the school was. So we may actually have walked over even to use that playground. We probably did while they were rebuilding and such. But back to, we just kind of knew everybody, and I don't know. It was you could just go fishing anywhere. Like, we had a farm pond that was some friends of mine. I went to school with her, and then it ended up that I worked for her parents after college for a little bit until I got pregnant with number 3. And they had a farm pond. We could just go out there and, fish as much as we want. No. Anyway, so we did that. And here, not a thing. There aren't many ponds to begin with here. And there sure as heck aren't many farm ponds. Because most of the farming here is cattle. You don't want to eat fish out of a cattle farm pond. I'm just going to go ahead and set that one out there. So, and even down here, see, like, no pond. There's cattle up here, but there's a creek. So another thing in the going fishing, not only do we have to load everything up, we have to load everybody up. We have to pack. I don't tend to have like sliced lunch meat or hot dogs on hand a lot because we just don't eat that as much. Go read some of those ingredients, people. Then don't thank me later because you're going to hate me for at least a little bit. It's gross. Like, the amount of soy that is in everything. The amount of disgusting GMO corn that is in everything. Corn syrup. What was I looking at last night? And I thought, oh, that looks so good. It was like the second ingredient was corn syrup. No, thank you. I don't want that mixed with my fruit. I don't want that in my food. So my children have come to believe I'm quite the buzzkill because there's a lot of things that I'm like, yeah, we can have that. Nope, I'm not doing that. Even my kids love the little tuna packets that are, what is he like? One likes the hickory smoked ones. Those I deem okay. The other one is the sweet and spicy, and it's got soy in it. And I really think part of the problem with the society getting larger, I think part of it had to do with, and this whole boys want to be girls movement, I think part of it had to do with soy. I don't know, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, just got added to everything. Soy has some things in it that mimic estrogen, and it brings an estrogen response. And so basically you're feeding little boys, skunk. You're feeding little boys something that will make their bodies produce more estrogen, and even girls. So this is why girls are getting, their cycles earlier in life, and it's harsher than it needs to be. We're going to go into, I've got a new product coming out. We're going to go into that in a little bit to help. I think people don't realize, ladies don't realize, well, and gentlemen, in the respects of, say you have a pain. I watched this little reel the other day, And the farmer went to the doctor, and the doctor says, "So how's your pain level today?" And the farmer's like, "Well, I don't know, normal level." And the doctor's like, "Normal level is 0." And the farmer was like, oh. We don't realize it. Human beings are wonderfully made in the respects that, we can deal with a lot of shit. So we get used to, like, my knee problem. You get used to your knee hurts all the time, and you're like, well, that's what it does. And we don't realize that it doesn't have to, it's not designed that way. Do some people have chronic pain? Yes, but that's not how our bodies were designed. We need to kind of realize, when you've lived with the pain for so long, you don't realize there's a better way. I watched a video, and it was about a foot doctor, and he was taking like this big, like, dried skin corn type of thing off of somebody's foot. And he's like, "How do you even function with this on your foot like this?" She's like, "I just do. Like, I walk. That's, it grows a little bit over time, and you get used to it, and it just is." So trying to get over that, realizing that menstrual cycles, mine has always, like, I will get physically sick, physically throw up ill. Well, we don't realize it's things like tampons and pads that are not made of natural materials sitting against your skin for 5 to 7 days in a row that is contributing to the sickness. So we no longer use most of that at our house. If you need to know what we do, just hit me up and we'll discuss it, because I love to talk to young ladies who also have those problems. Back to fishing, it's just an hour to the nearest lake, and so it takes time. So I'm back into, got to plan a little bit more and not get things sprung upon us. Sorry, I had to answer a phone call from my daughter. She is going through some reoccurring headaches right now, and we're trying to figure out what it is. And we're not big medicine people, not anti-medicine. We're just more of the, hey, is there another way first kind of people. And so she did get some medicine from the doctor. They wanted her to take it to see if this relieves it, and then they can kind of then be like, oh, well, then it's this because this helps. And she took it, and she's like, now I'm sick and I feel like I'm going to throw up. And we're also, so along with the story that we had before about unnatural monthly tendencies, because I would get physically sick bad. I was on a slow through the breeze. I was on a prescription of 800 milligrams of ibuprofen. Like, they come in 800 milligram pills. Normal ibuprofen's 200 milligrams. I would take one pill, that's 800 milligrams every 4 hours. And if I could, cycles used to be like clockwork. They're totally not anymore. But I would start that the day ahead of time. And that would continue for probably maybe 3 days. And then the pain would be manageable enough that I wouldn't want to, wouldn't upchuck everywhere all the time. That lasted for years. I took that much ibuprofen. And again, 3 days a month, but still does something to your stomach. So maybe that's part of why I'm having stomach issues. I don't know. We're kind of narrowing it down, or I'm trying to. Back to fishing and how it seems almost like an overwhelming task of, if I said right now, hey, going fishing, then it's one of those, and I gotta pack, and Thankfully, boy children are old enough they pack for themselves, so I don't really have to worry about that. Husband packs for himself. But still, I typically pack like the lunch. And previously, you know, we always had sandwich stuff on hand so that we could just be like, oh, you know, grab the loaf of bread, grab the turkey, the cheese, a thing of America Whip, and some drinks. Well, we don't have any of that. We don't have prepared drinks at home. I did buy some lemonade, a gallon of lemonade last night because I knew the boys were going to be, they're at the compound right now, kind of finishing up. So I knew they were going there today. I bought them some lemonade. I buy lemonade, no corn syrup, cane sugar. To this week it was Milo's. I think it was Milo's lemonade. And that is acceptable to our household. I would rather, and we are working on getting our kids switched over to lemon juice and sugar just to kind of make our own. But I don't mind buying a gallon of lemonade every once in a while. I will, however, not buy lemonade in the, like, country time. Country time, gross. Like, I won't do those ingredients. So we don't buy that anymore. And my child just loves pink lemonade, which I did when I was a kid too. The only difference in ingredients is it has red number 40 dye in it. That's not necessary. I have an autistic child at work. And if we're not very careful, his mom buys, his mom gives him a couple dollars when he's at work. And he'll go buy like a ginormous family pack of M&Ms and put them in his pouch. And he'll eat them throughout the day. Boy child does not need sugar. Sugar does not work well with his system. I can physically see the effects of sugar and such on that type of human and know that it's obviously not good. It's not good for any humans. So those are things that we are just taking out of our, I actually saw that spider web before I walked through it. Those are things that we're taking out of our personal diet. Those are the steps. It's not I'm not the one, especially after all the crap that we've been through. I'm not the one to be like, okay, we're changing this. And so we're going to go in and we're going to throw all of the food away. I had to pay for that food. And although it's not food, and I no longer call it as such, the stuff in our cupboards, it may not have been past tense, the best nutritional value, I still cannot afford to go throw it away and completely start over. So little by little, like, we would finish the bag of Cheetos, and then when it was empty, we would replace it with something more healthy. I do still allow Sun Chips in our house. Those are probably, especially when you're kind of used to, you know, we grew up with a sandwich and a side of chips and some carrots. Like, that was a meal. So especially when that's one of those kind of comfort meals that you're used to, sometimes you need to replace each individual ingredient for a while until you also feel no longer attachment to that. And that's what we do. We rarely eat chips. I do have tortilla chips in the house and some salsa. Every once in a while we like a few of those. But we also know that the serving size is 17 chips. My third child has lost so much ridiculous weight on this diet during this challenge, that he said to me the other day, he goes, I gained some weight back, Mom. And I said, well, thank goodness. And he said, now I'm only 5 pounds below my goal weight. Be quiet. Stop being such a teenage boy. He is very much trying to build muscle, which, yes, he needs more protein. We are working and trying every day to get as much protein in us as possible. But I also refuse to buy, shitty hot dogs just so that somebody can get protein. So we're trying to make much better choices. Now that I've gone on a complete tangent, back to, I just feel the need to plan some things sometimes. And we are going to sit down today. I'm trying to think. No, I got home late last night. I didn't realize that it was the time it was at work. And so I'm just checking people out because they keep coming and I keep checking. And then the customer service girl who kind of takes over after the floor supervisor leaves, she's like, "So you're staying all night with me?" I said, "No." She goes, "Well, yeah, you are." I said, "Why?" She goes, "Because you were supposed to leave 30 minutes ago." And I was like, "What?" So it was, it was 30 minutes. I clocked out 30 minutes late. Oops. Didn't take my second break because I literally couldn't get away. You can go check that video out. I should be uploading all of them today because all of my people are at the compound working, which is kind of cool. And then I'll do some designing and some sewing today. And we have a party that we're going to in 2 weeks, and we have some laser work to get done. So I just feel like we have so much stuff to do right now that I don't feel like I have enough time to play. But I also realize my humans need it. So a lot of times I will keep working and I will let them go fishing. They like to go kayaking. Let them go. And I take no offense. I'm trying more to take no offense to that. And it's just, it's not what I want to do. So by all means, let them go. They've been really good about helping while they're here. And I told them, I said, "You guys need to make sure that you're doing as much as you can during the days while we're here so we can get ready to move." And the moving process is going to be so much fun. So much fun. We moved here about 10 years ago. And so we did basically haul just about everything out of that house. We did have help though. Thank you all, everyone who came and helped the day of the fire, because we got to go back in the house that day and start hauling out. They kind of packed up anything that they thought could remotely be salvageable. I have a whole bunch of books that I doubt made it, but if they weren't physically burnt or visibly water damaged, they just pulled them and boxed them. So sitting in a house for 2 years probably made them unusable. But anyway, that's where we're at. That's where we're going. I'm going to finish this walk and see if I can't. Oh, yeah. I have to do taxes because taxes were due in April. I don't have them done yet. And then I need to get caught up so that my next year's taxes aren't behind. So today may be a tax day and a little bit of a sewing day. And just keep pushing through.